Factors the $1 Million Mountain. Tonight at 9 on the Weather Channel. The holidays go high-tech with Holidays in Space at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Join us for an out-of-this-world take on the sights and sounds of the holiday season now through January 4th. Visit tourksc.com for details.
My job is so hard on my hands.
The cracks were the worst part.
O'Keefe's Working Hands. Guaranteed relief for dry hands that crack and split.
There was a difference within just minutes of it absorbing into my skin.
Only O'Keefe's has given me the relief that I need.
Learn more at workinghands.com.
The way we see it, after a heavy snowfall, you have two options. You can stay inside or get behind the wheel of the Jeep Grand Cherokee with an available best-in-class 4x4 traction management system to maximize control, giving you confidence in all weather conditions. This is the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever. Well-qualified lessees can lease the 2015 Grand Cherokee Laredo for $369 a month.
Before ISS, before Hubble, we built the most extraordinary machine. Stand nose to nose with Space Shuttle Atlantis, one of thousands of exciting things to explore at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Always exploring.
Well, we are following a developing story out of Indonesia. This morning, we learned weather may have been a factor in an AirAsia plane gone missing.
Yeah, right now you're taking a look at some file video here. This is not the plane that went missing, but it is very similar to the AirAsia flight that disappeared over the Java Sea, according to the Indonesian Civil Aviation Authority. The pilot had requested to change course because of clouds. Now, we know, taking a look at some of the satellite imagery after the fact, that there were definitely some major thunderstorms in the area. This is just 2 hours of leaving Surabaya, Indonesia, that this pilot asked to change course.
Yeah, exactly. Flight QZ8501 there, on its way to Singapore at the time, losing control with the Jakarta Air Traffic Control there over the Java Sea. We're talking 162 people on board. And of course, search and rescue efforts there, but hearing indications now that the air search has been suspended because of nightfall. But there are a few boats still around, and they're going to be leaving their lights on throughout the night.
The boats are having a hard time because the waves are significantly choppy in this area. We are not talking about calm seas. We are not looking at nice, calm conditions. This is the monsoon in this part of the country, of the world, and so they have significant rainfall, even record-breaking rainfall in some cases. And major flood events going on this week, actually, across Malaysia.
Yeah, absolutely. So joining us live now is Julian Bray. He is an aviation security and airline operations expert in the UK. Thanks again for joining us, Julian. We really do appreciate it. Again, all indications that the pilot requested to get out of the path of these storms. Moving to an altitude of about 34,000 feet. Now, at that altitude, are there any other potential concerns that you would have as a pilot?
Well, he was originally clocked at 32,000 feet, so that doesn't seem to be a terribly great increase because this weather system was effective up to 50,000 feet. But it is very, very clear, and I've seen later weather pictures now, that that storm was actually growing in size. And so to request a diversion on the basis of clouds seems to be underplaying it slightly. It was far worse than that.
Do you think, now these thunderstorms, they grow incredibly quickly, especially during the monsoon, especially this part of the world. So the question, Julian, is, do you think that the pilot had time to hear back from air traffic control after requesting that diversion?
It's done very quickly. It's like a conversation that we're having. So he would literally sort of respond to him, give him the new heading, and that would be it. All done and dusted very, very quickly. But you don't know what was actually going on with the actual weather itself and what actually caused the break. Was it lightning? Was it icing? What happened? Something happened, and I think we're heading towards the idea that it's something catastrophic.
So now, Julian, what's next in terms of trying for the search and rescue from the airports or airlines' point of view, as well as, of course, the families who are waiting to hear about what's going on?
Well, they've set up reception centers, and they have actually issued a...
Okay, well, thank you so much, Julian Bray. We really appreciate you being with us, again, from the UK on what's going on with this missing Flight 8501. Obviously, thunderstorms icing another concern as it was trying to make possibly an ascent to try and avoid some of these thunderstorms. But if you look at the images here on your screen, you can see how quickly these thunderstorms developed. They very likely could have played a role here.
Very likely. So, of course, we're going to stay on top of this story. And stateside, our winter storm Frona. That's next.
Nourished. Rescued. Protected. Given new hope. During the Subaru Share the Love event, Subaru owners feel it too. Because when you take home a new Subaru, we donate $250 to helping those in need. We'll have given $50 million over 7 years. Love. It's what makes a Subaru.
She's still the one for you, and Cialis for daily use helps you be ready anytime the moment is right. Cialis is also the only daily ED tablet approved to treat symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines, and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any allergic reactions like rash, hives, swelling of the lips, tongue, or throat, or difficulty breathing or swallowing, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use and a free 30-tablet trial.
I've seen hurricanes, floods, I've seen tornadoes. We give out Duracell batteries after the worst happens. And when the power's out for days, we stay with them. You might say they lost everything, but that's not what I see. I see a different kind of power. I saw it in Ruth, Adam, Tom. It's the power they have inside of them. The power to move forward.
At Duracell, we believe that's the power that never, ever goes out.
New Move Free Ultra brings a revolution to joint health. It's the smallest joint health pill, now with a new triple action formula for joint, cartilage, and bone health. Move on to new Move Free Ultra.
Fact. When you take Advil, you get relief right at the site of pain, wherever it is. Advil stops pain right where it starts. Relief doesn't get any better than this. Advil.
It's not too late to get what you really wanted for the holidays. Now at the Men's Warehouse After Christmas sale, get select designer suits for $249.99. Plus, buy one, get one free on almost everything else in the store. Confidence suits you. Only at Men's Warehouse.
We're back. Tonight, old habits die hard.
I thought Grandma said she don't want you licking any more rocks.
What happens on the mountain stays on the mountain.
And danger lurks.
Did you hear something?
On the Cardwell.
Seriously? Where do you think you're going?
To work? With you? It's Taco Tuesday.
You're not coming. I took Mucinex to help get rid of my mucousy congestion.
Oh, right. Then I'll swing by in like 4 hours. Just set aside a few tacos for me.
Forget the tacos. One pill lasts 12 hours. I'm good all day.
Wait. Your loss. I was gonna wear a sombrero.
Only Mucinex has a bi-layer tablet that starts fast and keeps working. Not 4, not 6, but 12 full hours. Start the relief, ditch the misery. Let's end this.
It brings an air of excitement, a refined presence, bustling with infectious energy, pushing you to the limits, awakening your imagination, and inspiring confidence. It's a symbol of your arrival. It's a brand new Cadillac. Discover the new spirit of Cadillac and the best offers of the season. Lease this 2015 Standard Collection SRX for around $359 a month. Hurry in, offer ends soon.
On the shipping and even pay the return postage. Try NoNo risk-free today.
Every Sunday, the Titans of Weather bring the rain. Geek Out, Sundays at noon on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 67 degrees with foggy conditions. Today, partly cloudy skies. High 81. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, low 69. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, partly cloudy, high 80. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I'm meteorologist Mike Seidel from Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Busy travel day, but so far, no ground delay programs from the FAA in Washington. That's always a good thing. So that allows airports to pretty much do as they please, so to speak. Here in Atlanta, we've had 14 delays on the departure end, 11 planes coming in. Arrivals are delayed, so 25 in and out of Atlanta. That's not too bad. Only one cancellation so far. That's a Delta flight from Gulfport, Biloxi up to Atlanta. That's the only cancellation in and out of this airport so far this morning because the ceiling and visibilities are much, much better than they were Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Let's get more on airline travel today. Thousands in the air. Kate Parker is not one of them, at least not yet. She may be going somewhere.
Right,
Kate,
not yet, Mike. You know that we live at the airports, especially you. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on. Across the country, no significant delays at airports. Now, considering what we have going on weather-wise, as you take a look at this map here, you see the rain that's falling from South Texas all the way up into the Carolinas and even into the Northeast. It's amazing that we don't have delays in the Northeast right now. In the West, we have Winter Storm Frona. That's not causing us any problems at the moment either, so pretty amazing stuff, Alex.
No doubt. We'll keep tracking that throughout the day. Now we are also tracking a winter storm. That is Frona cutting through parts of the Rockies. We've got some snow falling in Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana. Well, Carl Parker is in the lab tracking this newly named storm. And Carl, we're going to be watching this thing for quite some time out there over the next several days. Packing a punch.
Yeah, you know, there are a lot of different parts to this particular storm. One of them coming down through the northern Rockies right now. But the third part of this storm is a low that's going to come down through California in the southwest and then pivot around and move out into the plains in the Midwest. And it could be a more substantial snowstorm in the Midwest. That would be by the end of the week. So you're talking about a solid week of weather potentially from this system that we are calling Frona, which oftentimes will be a system that's comprised of many different parts. So here's part number one, and you've got an area of low pressure and upper low that's coming across the northern Rockies right in there. So the snow in the last several hours has been spreading into the northwest. We are still getting snow showers in the Cascades, still below pass level there. Snow is also coming into southern parts of Idaho. Pocatello reporting light snow. Logan now reporting light snow. We're getting it around Yellowstone. And there is a look at the snowfall forecast through Tuesday. It's mostly going to be lighter. It's mostly going to be 1 or 2 or 3 inches. But where you've got elevation in the Wasatch, that's where we're talking about several inches and maybe as much as more than a foot in the highest of elevation. Same story there in the Colorado Rockies. In Salt Lake City and Denver proper, it's probably going to be about 3 to 5. Your big day in Salt Lake City is today. We'll see rounds of snow showers coming in, and then the big day in Denver is going to be tomorrow. And the Arctic front is also going to drop down. It's going to turn sharply colder, and it's going to get really windy. So this is what that looks like. And whenever you have a big change in temperature, you have a big change in pressure. And the atmosphere doesn't like that. It wants to try to equal it out. What it does to do that, to equal it out, is create a lot of wind. So the winds are really going to be howling here as that Arctic front drops down and into the northern Rockies. And then notice the kink right in there. That area, that sort of elongated area, that's another low. That is part 3 of this 3-part system, and that is going to begin to drop down over the next couple of days here. So what we've got here is a look at the forecast snowfall from the GFS model, the American model, along with the vorticity in the middle of the atmosphere. And the vorticity is the spin in the middle part of the atmosphere. So we can use that as a proxy for where more of the energy is, where the storm basically is. And the storm is going to be coming down, part 3 of the storm is going to be coming down through California and Nevada. And then watch as it drops down into Southern California. That's going to be Monday, so we start to see snow breaking out there in Southern California. Then Tuesday, it comes across Arizona, and by Wednesday and Thursday, it begins to move over into New Mexico. So very heavy snow possible in parts of the Southwest as well, along with this system. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Carl, for getting us updated on Frona. Have we had enough winter storms yet?
We're just getting started.
I know. It was a pretty mild December, but as we head into the last week of the year, all of that is going to change fast.
A major drop in temperatures. It's going to be dropping like a rock out there, talking 15 to 40 degrees below average. When you'll feel that chill.
And it's just in time for New Year's Eve. Are you going to need to pack your parka if you're going to watch the New Year ring in outside? We're going to have your New Year's Eve forecast.
And of course, it's football Sunday. Bears, Vikings. Dry, but it's going to be cold.
You park your car. As you walk away, crunch. A garbage truck backs into it. So you call your insurance company looking for a little support. What you get is a game of 1,000 questions. Was it raining? Were your flashers on? Was there a dog with you? By the time you hang up, you're convinced the accident was your fault. Then you remember, you weren't even in the car.
At Liberty Mutual, we make filing a claim as stress-free as possible. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
New Move Free Ultra brings a revolution to joint health. It's the smallest joint health pill, now with a new triple action formula for joint, cartilage, and bone health. Move on to new Move Free Ultra.
At Intel, they have technology you can control with gestures. Like now, she's flying a spaceship to Mars.
We're flying a plane to Detroit.
Intel, this is where it all changes.
My grandson's got this blankie that gets filthy. But he's got such sensitive skin that you worry about what you use in the laundry. My Tide Pods, Downy and Bounce all come in free and gentle. So we get a cleaner, softer blankie.
Hypoallergenic, Tide, Downy and Bounce free.
Here's a question for you. If every U.S. household with a computer used sleep mode when they weren't using it, how much could we save on electricity each year? Up to $1 billion? $3 billion? $4.5 billion? The answer is up to $4.5 billion. Using your computer's built-in energy-saving features can generate real household savings. Take the energy quiz, round 2. Energy lives here.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast. Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-491-1389. That's 1-800-491-1389. Call now, 1-800-491-1389. For a free brochure, call 1-800-491-1389.
Currently in our area, 67 degrees with foggy conditions. Today, partly cloudy skies. High 81. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. Low 69. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, partly cloudy. High 80. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
See this winter like never before. Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel Mornings.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live. I'm Alex Wallace.
And I'm Kate Parker. This morning, we're keeping a very close eye on Indonesia as the search for a missing plane continues. Flight QZ8501 lost contact with the Jakarta Air Traffic Control Tower around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time yesterday. It was halfway between its origin of Surabaya, Indonesia, and its destination of Singapore.
Now, investigators say the pilot asked to avoid clouds by turning left and then climbing to 34,000 feet. Meteorologists here at the Weather Channel's Global Forecast Center said there was a 50,000-foot thunderstorm cluster right near the flight path over the Java Sea at the time of lost contact. We'll, of course, stay on top of this story and bring you any updates as soon as we get them. But now to the soggy travels many are facing here as they try to head back home from their holiday trips.
Heavy rain in the east, snow out west, setting the stage for a messy day on the roads and in the skies. That's why our Mike Seidel is live in Atlanta at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, the busiest airport in the world, tracking to see whether delays are going on and how folks are handling the busy travel day.
Now, 4.5 million people going through this airport between December 19th and next Monday, January 5th. It is the world's busiest, and today, although it's busy, there have been few interruptions in travel. In fact, the better news in the short term, I just checked from the TSA, security wait times have dropped at the main checkpoint. That's where you have all those machines, down to 10 to 20 minutes from 20 to 30. So a bit of improvement there. South and north checkpoints still running 20 to 30 minutes. Overall, though, Atlanta's Hartsfield, only 14 flights have been delayed. Outbound flights, 11 arrivals. And I mentioned earlier, just one flight's been canceled. If you're on that Gulfport Biloxi to Atlanta Delta flight, that has been canceled this morning. That's it so far. Overall, nationwide, we haven't fared so bad. Cancellations so far under 100, and delays certainly under about 300 right now. That's because the weather is much better on the East Coast than it was Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We have better visibilities and better ceiling heights. The ceilings are higher. We're not fogged in here at ATL like we were earlier this week. Take a look at the hourly forecast and you'll see that throughout the day, clouds, occasional showers now. The bulk of the rain has fallen. We've had about 2 inches here in Atlanta. Good soaking, but it's going to wind down. It'll be cloudy and murky through the afternoon. And then for the rest of the week, no problems. Monday through New Year's Day here at the world's busiest. We'll have sunshine, some clouds. Temperatures will be trending downward from the 60 we'll see tomorrow. But any kind of flying out of here Monday through Thursday, Kate, will be fine. No weather issues here. And the East Coast hubs, D.C., Philly, New York, Boston, all look terrific Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Today, though, a bit shaky with some rain up in the Northeast. Kate, back to you.
Yeah, Mike. So we've got air travel that's running okay right now, but on the ground, it's a little bit of a different story in spots. Look at Park City, Utah. There on the right-hand side of your screen, you can see the snow is coming down, something fierce now. Salt Lake City there on the left-hand side of your screen, and we are going to see some snowflakes there. Not quite as many as we'll see in Park City, but that's just a difference in elevation. I want to show you what we're talking about here as far as that elevation is concerned with Winter Storm Frona, because it is going to be the prime factor to make a difference on just how much snow you see out west. So this is a significant storm. It is Winter Storm, named Winter Storm Frona, and it's because it affects so many people. Look at the Cascades. That's where we start with some of our winter storm warnings. Those go all the way through Idaho and on down south through Salt Lake City under a winter storm warning right now. We do have a winter weather advisory in effect for Great Falls, Billings, all the way down actually into the Rockies. We're talking about Aspen actually under that effect right now. So let's take a look at where the snow is currently falling. If you're in Great Falls and you're trying to head out south on 15, maybe going north on 15, regardless, 15 going to be a troublesome road today. That's where that interstate is going to cause you some problems starting that far north and then going all the way south. I think that today, at least this morning, the spot where I think we're going to see the biggest travel concerns driving wise are going to be heading south from Boise on down south towards Salt Lake City. That's where our snow is falling the hardest right now. That's where some of our accumulations will be greatest in the coming hours, and even coming days here. And then we'll see this travel into the Four Corners, spreading east across the country, all thanks to this dip in the jet stream, unleashing that cold air on the U.S. Then we got that low that's going to scoot right across the country, and that's what's going to help to get some of those snow showers started and cause us problems for the next several days. We're going to continue to track that here, Alex.
All right, we're going to move into the Black Hills of South Dakota. We're looking at Mount Rushmore here in Keystone. Now, we've got a 1-2 punch from Winter Storm Frona. Got some Arctic air coming in as well. What a beautiful sight, though, but spot I would love to visit, maybe not in the coming days, because it's going to be quite cold out there for you. We're talking temperatures nearly 30 degrees below average, at least there, even colder in a few other spots as Arctic air really returns to the nation here for you after a fairly mild December now. Big Arctic high building in out of Canada. We're watching the purples and the blues slip south, and that means temperatures will be quite cold. Anywhere from 25 to 45 degrees below average for high temperatures as we head into early next week. And that stretches from pretty much the Rockies all the way into the Midwest and the Great Lakes region. So let's put it into actual numbers and show you how to feel for tomorrow. 4 degrees in Billings. That's your high for the day, nearly 30 degrees below average. Denver to Omaha, you're feeling the chill as well, and we'll keep that cold air slipping southward here as we head into Tuesday. Dodge City and Kansas City here, teens and 20s to deal with single digits around Minneapolis and even into the panhandle of Texas and then around Amarillo. Expect temperatures to top out at only 25 degrees with teens there in Chicago. Bundle up time, no doubt about it. Let's talk about Denver. Your average high is around 43 degrees. Not too far from that today, but quickly dropping off tomorrow to 16, low single digits for Tuesday, and even a bit of a warm-up Wednesday into Thursday. Still, we'll be talking temperatures well below average. How about those low temps as you wake up in the morning? We talk brutal stuff. Well below zero here, Billings to Bismarck. That's not factoring any kind of wind that may be out there for you in Rapid City. Waking up tomorrow with 7 below zero. Kate?
Alex, I'm so not into that. 7 below zero, no thank you. The Times Square Ball is ready for its annual drop on New Year's Eve in New York City. Crews were hard at work yesterday installing more than 250 newly designed Waterford crystal triangles. The Times Square Alliance is honoring the humanitarian work of the International Rescue Committee with these new crystals. They join the other 2,400 crystals already in place on the ball. So how about that forecast? What does it look like in Times Square on New Year's Eve? Good thing that you'll have all that body heat as you cramp in there to watch the ball drop, because it is going to be in the 20s. Very chilly day across most of the country on New Year's Eve. 22 is all you're going to get to for a high in Bismarck, Chicago, 19 degrees. Let me get straight for you. That's your high temperature for the day when the sun is really high and warming you up. So when it goes down and it's midnight, you are definitely going to be feeling the chill, Alex.
No doubt. Well, you know, another holiday tradition is fast approaching. We got the 2015 NHL Winter Classic. Now, the Chicago Blackhawks going to be taking on the Washington Capitals in D.C. on New Year's Day. The forecast actually shaping up pretty nicely. We've got lots of sunshine out there. Temperatures right around 40 degrees. A far cry from what we were dealing with just this past January, which of course the coldest Winter Classic in Ann Arbor, Michigan at the Big House at the Red Wings versus the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it was a frigid time out there. Look at this picture, it just looks cold. Got some snow showers coming down. Temperatures were stuck in the teens. Got a low of about 12 degrees out there. It was no doubt a Winter Classic. But here's a look at Nationals Park. Time lapse showing you it's a transformation from a baseball diamond to a rink. For days, workers have been prepping the rink and ice surface. The puck drops at 1 o'clock Eastern on Thursday. Weather Channel is going to be there live for the Bridgestone puck drop forecast, giving you the actual temperature at game time to show you just how amazing it is out there. Kate?
So, Alex, we've told you all about the weather concerns here across our country, but was weather a factor in missing AirAsia Flight 8501? We're going to talk to an expert when we come back.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees with foggy conditions. Today, partly cloudy skies. High 81. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. Low 69. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, partly cloudy. High 80. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I've always loved exploring and looking for something better. That's the way I look at life. Especially now that I live with a higher risk of stroke due to AFib, a type of irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. I was taking warfarin, but I wondered if I kept digging, could I come up with something better? My doctor told me about Eliquis for 3 important reasons. 1, in a clinical trial, Eliquis was proven to reduce the risk of stroke better than warfarin. 2, Eliquis had less major bleeding than warfarin. And 3, unlike warfarin, there's no routine blood testing.
Don't stop taking Eliquis unless your doctor tells you to, as stopping increases your risk of having a stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. While taking Eliquis, you may bruise more easily, and it may take longer than usual for any bleeding to stop. Seek immediate medical care for sudden signs of bleeding, like unusual bruising. Eliquis may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures.
Those 3 important reasons are why Eliquis is a better find for me.
Ask your doctor today if Eliquis is right for you.
The holidays go high-tech with Holidays in Space at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Join us for an out-of-this-world take on the sights and sounds of the holiday season now through January 4th. Visit tourksc.com for details.
I will light up every room I walk into.
Olay presents the Regenerist Luminous Collection. Renew surface cells to even skin tone. In just 2 weeks, see pearlescent luminous skin. Regenerist Luminous. Olay, your best beautiful.
The way we see it, after a heavy snowfall, you have 2 options. You can stay inside or get behind the wheel of the Jeep Grand Cherokee with an available best-in-class 4x4 traction management system to maximize control, giving you confidence in all weather conditions. This is the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever. Well-qualified lessees can lease the 2015 Grand Cherokee Laredo for $369 a month.
Is your back acting up again? Is lower back pain a daily drain? If you're one of the millions who suffer from the agony of lower back pain, you need Be Active, the revolutionary new acupressure system that instantly helps ease discomfort in your lower back, buttocks, and legs. Watch. Just slip on Be Active and tighten the strap. You'll instantly begin experiencing relief. Look, back pain often radiates from the lower back to your lower extremities, but apply Be Active to the trigger point on the calf muscle to instantly relieve pain. The secret is the AcuPoint pressure pad that gently compresses, alleviating pain to the sciatic nerve and lower back for instant relief.
I just slide it on, I tighten the strap, I feel the pressure point right behind my knee, and right away I feel the release of pain in my lower back.
Be Active provides firm pressure behind the knee on the specific pressure point, which can help relieve the pain and suffering from sciatica.
Wow, that's I can feel comfort already.
It's like right away relief.
I just put it on, but I can feel it already easing the pain.
But now I don't feel the pain at all. This is really something.
You can't see the relief? I can feel it.
It kind of feels like it's relaxing that muscle.
I definitely wish I found this a couple months ago.
Be Active gives you the ability to instantly be active again. Wear it while exercising. Keep up with the kids. It's invisible under clothing, comfortable enough to sleep in. Be Active easily adjusts to fit any leg so everyone can live pain-free. Be Active is always there to deliver the pain relief you need. Now start living pain-free with the acupressure point therapy of Be Active for just $19.99. But wait, call now and we'll double the offer free. Just pay separate processing. If you don't begin to get instant relief, send it back and oh nothing. You get it all for just $19.99. So call or click now.
To order, call 1-800-370-7747. That's 1-800-370-7747 or go online to beactivebrace.com. Call or click today.
Well, this morning we've learned weather may have been a factor in an AirAsia plane gone missing.
Yeah, right now, let's go ahead and take a look at a picture. This is of a similar AirAsia aircraft, according to the Indonesian Civil Aviation Authority. The pilot had asked to change course because of a line of strong thunderstorms, notably clouds is what was noted there in that request last night, just 2 hours after leaving Surabaya, Indonesia.
Yeah, flight QZ8501, it was on its way for Singapore when air traffic controllers lost contact. 162 people were on board. Well, NBC's Katie Tur is live now at the airport in Singapore where the plane never arrived.
Katie, thanks for joining us this morning. Now, this path obviously took us through the Java Sea, where there were a significant number of thunderstorms there. What is the feeling there on the ground in Singapore? Do people feel that weather could have been a factor?
It's unclear because there was bad weather here for the entire day, so it's unclear just how strong those storms were over the Java Sea and whether or not they would have been enough to take a plane down. 155 passengers on board, 5 crew members, 2 pilots. The vast majority of those passengers are Indonesian. So at the Indonesia airport, at Surabaya Airport right now, it is quite a scene. Family members looking for answers. The head of the airline, AirAsia, has gone down there to try and answer some of those questions, try and be a lifeline for them in terms of what's going on for the search and rescue operation. It was supposed to be here at Singapore Airport around 8:30 this morning. That's about 13 hours ago now. Still no sign of the plane. And guys, if this is sounding a little bit familiar, this is the 3rd Malaysian-based airline to have an incident in this year alone.
An emotional scene at Surabaya Airport in Indonesia as families learn that the plane carrying their loved ones is missing, lost somewhere over the Java Sea. I hope for a miracle and may God save all of them, said one friend waiting for news. The flight was on its way from Surabaya to Singapore when the airline says pilots asked to climb to 38,000 feet to avoid clouds. But the AirAsia Airbus 320 has not been heard from since, and weather maps do indicate thunderstorms in the area around the time the aircraft disappeared. This is the 3rd incident involving a Malaysian-based airliner this year. And now this new search is bringing back old and unresolved memories of MH370, the Malaysian Airlines flight that disappeared in March and is still missing. That flight, traveling from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing, was carrying 239 passengers and crew. Then there's MH17, traveling from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur. It was shot down over the Ukraine this summer. Today, more questions and more heartache from families who just want to know what happened to their loved ones.
There were 47 friends and family here at the airport, and they were looking for some answers, sequestered behind this corridor behind me. We did see some of them earlier today, and as you would imagine, they were understandably distraught, really want to know what exactly happened. Officials do know when and where it went off radar, so they should, in theory, have a good idea of where it is over the Java Sea. But again, it is nighttime here, and they have called off the search. They will resume once again tomorrow when it becomes light. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Katie Cherry, reporting for us from Singapore. Now, here's the deal. The sea's rough in the Java Sea right now. Trying to find any debris, trying to find any sign of this plane, going to be difficult. We also have the monsoon going on right there. So the rainfall going to be tremendous and cause a big problem as well.
And, of course, night.
Well, yes. Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, tough times. And that's why the search being called off at this point, at least suspended until tomorrow morning. But you can see these were the conditions here at the time that the air traffic controllers lost contact with this AirAsia Flight 8501. No doubt about it, there were clouds, thunderstorms in the area. Of course, I want to stress we don't know that weather was the cause, but may be a factor in the issues here with this potential flight going down.
Especially since that was the last communication that we have heard of from the pilots, was that they were asking to divert because of weather. So we will continue to track this for you. We're going to talk to an expert whenever we come back, and we're also going to update you on what's happening with our winter storm Frona.
This is Conley, Cameron, Zach, and Clementine.
We have a serious hairball issue.
We cleaned it up and turned around, and there it is again. It's scary. A little bit in my eye.
Underneath the kitchen table, underneath my work desk, we've got enough to knit a sweater. Zach, what is that? Oh, the Swiffer sweeper.
It's like the Swiffer dusters. It's some sort of magic cloth that sucks in all the dog hair.
It's quick and easy. Pretty amazing that I picked it all up. I would totally take on another dog.
Really?
Mother Nature can absolutely change people. I'm ready to get out of here and create a new track.
This is a tornado emergency.
It was hard to believe weather could do that.
Never seen anything like this in my life.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees with foggy conditions. Today, partly cloudy skies. High 81. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. Low 69. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, partly cloudy. High 80. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Fact. Fast-acting Advil is designed with an ultra-thin coating and fast-absorbing Advil Ion Core technology, stopping headaches and other tough pain fast. Relief doesn't get any better than this. Advil.
You pay your auto insurance premium every month on the dot. You're like the poster child for paying on time. And then one day, you tap the bumper of a station wagon. No big deal until your insurance company jacks up your rates. You freak out. What good is having insurance if you get punished for using it? Hey, insurance companies, newsflash. Nobody's perfect.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
New Move Free Ultra brings a revolution to joint health. It's the smallest joint health pill, now with a new triple action formula for joint, cartilage, and bone health. Move on to new Move Free Ultra.
Rich, chewy caramel rolled up in smooth milk chocolate.
Let me know if this gets too hot.
Rolo, get your smooth on.
I've seen hurricanes, floods, I've seen tornadoes. We give out Duracell batteries after the worst happens. And when the power's out for days, we stay with them. You might say they lost everything, but that's not what I see. I see a different kind of power. I saw it in Ruth, Adam, Tom. It's the power they have inside of them.
Before the intervention, before I went to rehab, when it got really out of hand, I was calling out of work. I wasn't coming home. My husband and I were arguing. My responsibility to my business, to my clients, and to others just went completely out the door.
That's when we knew we had to do something. We needed to all jump in, and my son felt confident that this person could help, and he did. Since her intervention, she's an absolute delight, and I can't stop smiling when I see her.
If someone you know is struggling with drug or alcohol addiction, please call or visit us at interventionnow.com.
Hey, girl. Hey, can you help me move? Sure, but I can't use my hands.
I would, but my back is so bad.
Oh.
Well...
Hi, I'm moving.
No problem. The Xfinity Movers Edge program makes it easy to stay connected to your TV, internet, and home phone when you move.
Thank you.
Finally get some help moving. Get your Xfinity services professionally installed on the date you choose, or ask how you can take your equipment with you. Call 1-855-MOVE-EDGE or go online today.
Shipping, and even pay the return postage. Try NoNo risk-free today.
Tonight at 9. Get down now! Prospectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Tonight at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Welcome back into Weather Center Live as we continue to track a developing story here. Missing airline in place, moving from from Indonesia to Singapore. Still, we don't know where this plane is.
Yeah, it's flight 8501. This Air Asia flight has gone missing. Obviously happened last night. We're now over 12 hours past it missing, about 14 hours gone. Joining us now is former National Transportation Safety Board Senior Air Safety Investigator Greg Fife. Greg, we had the pilot making a call and asking air traffic control for a diverted path because of the fact that clouds were in the area. We saw thunderstorms on satellite. Could that have contributed with the plane losing contact with ground control?
Absolutely. That's going to be one of the primary focus points of this investigation. Of course, they want to make sure that they can find the wreckage and get the information off the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder, which will really give them a focal point. But right now, as we know it, weather appears to be the main issue that will be investigated by the team and then, of course, supported once they find wreckage in the CVR and the FDR.
Now, Greg, what kind of equipment do pilots have on board to help them steer clear of potential dangerous weather?
On board the aircraft, they have in-flight weather radar, so they can map what's ahead of them in increments as close as 5 miles out to about 180 miles in front of the aircraft. And similar to the Doppler radar that you all use, it has the various color bands for intensity of precip and that kind of thing. And then there are techniques that they can use to map how high these thunderstorms may blossom. And as you've talked about, you know, these are thunderstorms in this tropical convergence zone. They're blossoming up to 30, 40, 50,000 feet. You're not going to be able to out-climb them, so they're going to try and pick the path of least resistance using radar. And then, of course, they can get some assistance from air traffic controllers who are also looking at the weather as well.
Thank you so much, Greg Feith, for being with us this morning, giving us some insight as to whether or not weather could have been a factor in this missing airline.
All right, and we make our way back stateside because we've got some weather issues here. Winter weather. We've got a winter storm Frona making its way through parts of the Rockies, snow falling in Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana.
Carl Parker in the lab tracking this newly named storm. How's it going this morning, Carl?
Well, you know, so far it's been fairly benign. It's been mostly lighter snow that we've seen across the northern Rockies, but we expect this to go on for a very long time. It has multiple parts. The Arctic front comes down in another couple of days, and along with that, the wind's really going to pick up. Then another upper low will move down Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday through the southwest, and then kick out into the plains and Midwest by the weekend. So a very long-lasting event that we are calling Frona, and here's a look at what's happening with it right now. This is really phase one of this system with an upper low that's now coming down and across the northern part of the Rockies. It is still snowing now in the Cascades, and traction tires are required for Stevens Pass, advised for Snoqualmie Pass. We're seeing some lighter snow across interstates 90 and 15 there in Montana. Light snow for the most part. Pocatello, that's right across 84 and 86, as well as 15, and then getting down into Salt Lake City, we've had light snow in Logan as well as Ogden, and this is going to go on for a lot of the day today. So let's time all this out, and here is feature number one that has been spreading the snow across the northern plains. That continues through late tonight. Then the Arctic front starts to drop down Monday and Tuesday. Gets much, much colder in the northern part of the Rockies and very windy. And because you'll have a fine powdery snow on the ground and still falling, it's going to blow that snow around and make it really tough to see. And then another feature comes into play. That's the upper low that's driving down and across Nevada and California, and a surface low, surface reflection of that comes into Southern California. That's really on Tuesday. We'll get snow in the mountains around Vegas. There may actually be some snow on the Strip Tuesday and into Wednesday. Then the snow moving over into parts of Arizona Wednesday, and then Thursday. It could be very heavy snow, Mogollon Rim, Grand Canyon, and then by Friday it's going to get over and into parts of New Mexico. So a lot going on here, Alex and Kate, over the next several days. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Carl. We appreciate it, and thank you for spending a part of your Sunday morning with us.
We have Mark Elliott and Bonnie Schneider coming up in just 60 seconds to continue letting you know what's happening with AirAsia Flight 8501, if that could have been a weather-related diversion.
Absolutely. So stay tuned and have a good Sunday.
Currently in our area, 70 degrees with foggy conditions. Today, partly cloudy skies. High 81. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. Low 69. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, partly cloudy. High 80. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
We're following a developing story out of Indonesia. Air search for missing AirAsia Flight 8501 that disappeared with 162 people on board has been halted. Officials say airspace was thick with storm clouds, strong winds, and lightning. We're breaking it down with expert analysis.
Winter storm Frona set to impact a large part of the west, bringing with it heavy snow and dangerous wind chills. We track the storm, letting you know who's getting hit today and where the storm is headed next.
And a heavy rainmaker in progress. From the Gulf Coast to Maine, flood watches and warnings popping up across several states. We let you know who needs to be on alert. Good morning. Welcome to Weather Center Live. It is Sunday, December 28th. I'm Mark Elliott.
And I'm Bonnie Schneider. We have a very busy morning. There's heavy rain that could delay holiday travelers. Plus, Winter Storm Frona has been named. Heavy snow and dangerous wind chills are likely.
Yeah, but we begin this morning with a bit of a weather mystery. An AirAsia flight carrying 162 people has disappeared mid-flight. Air search was halted for the night and will resume in the morning, 6 a.m. their time. Some ships still in the area and are continuing the search by sea. Here's flight QZ8501. It lost contact with Jakarta Air Traffic Control Tower around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, halfway between its origin of Surabaya, Indonesia, and its destination of Singapore.
And pilots had requested a deviation from the flight path due to weather before contact was lost. Investigators say the pilot asked to avoid the clouds by turning left and climbing to 34,000 feet. Meteorologists here at the Weather Channel's Global Forecast Center say there was 50,000-foot tall thunderstorm complex right in the flight path over the Java Sea. And this was at the time of lost contact. Officials are now saying that the airspace was possibly thick with dense storm clouds and strong winds and lightning. Indonesia's acting director general of transportation says there was no distress signal from the cockpit.
Unfortunately, anguished families now gathering at the Surabaya airport. Several wept openly as they anxiously waited for information about that missing flight. A search and rescue operation is obviously still underway, but because of darkness and difficult weather across the area, the air part of that flight has been halted and there is no sign of the plane right now.
Well, an aviation expert will join us live here in just 10 minutes, but now let's bring it back to stateside.
Yeah, Winter Storm Frona lasting a long time. This storm's going to be with us for a while. Dangerous wind chills, heavy snow in the Pacific Northwest to the Southwest. In Salt Lake City, you're seeing snow falling right now, maybe 3 to 5 inches of snow.
Wow. Well, as the storm continues its trek across the country, storm specialist Carl Parker is in the lab timing it out. Carl?
Bonnie, there are a lot of different parts to this storm. One is the low that's coming down through the northern Rockies right now. The next thing is the Arctic front that will follow that. It's going to get really cold across the northern plains. The winds are going to pick up and blow that snow around. Part 3 is another low that comes down through the southwest and eventually kicks out into the Midwest, maybe by the end of the week. So this is going to be, as you mentioned, a long-lasting event. There's part number 1 right there, that low that's dropping down through the northern Rockies. Light snow spreading through the northwest, down into parts of Idaho, and then right down into Salt Lake City. The light snow ongoing now. Ogden and Logan reporting light snow on and off over the last couple of hours. And here's the model forecast showing you how it continues for the most part right through today. Does become a little bit more spotty during the day tomorrow, but still we've generally got that flow driving into the Wasatch. Then the winds will switch around as the Arctic front approaches. Notice that easterly wind coming in right here gets very windy, and by Tuesday winds picking up to 20-30 miles per hour there in Salt Lake City. So what we're going for right now is 3 to 5 inches in Salt Lake City proper, but up into the mountains you're talking about several inches and over a foot. So some fresh powder there for you in Park City and other resorts. And then looking at Denver, your big day is going to be on Monday. We get snow in the Rockies today, but then tomorrow the snow develops with an upslope flow coming into the Mile High City, especially later tomorrow. Here, too, not a tremendous amount of snow. It's going to be about 3 to 5 inches, but much higher amounts as is usual there off into the foothills and up into the Rockies. Back to you.
Thanks, Carl. Of course, the rain continuing to come down across portions of the southeast. Houston, you're seeing showers sticking around, a high near 50 today. New Orleans, we were talking about you yesterday. You're still seeing heavy rain today with a high near 70. And Atlanta, expect the rain you've been seeing to continue all the way through Monday. Also, you're in a flood watch until tomorrow morning, which could make a very messy day of travel on another very busy travel week. In fact, our own Mike Seidel is live at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. The rain coming down heavy this morning. Mike, has that been causing any delays that you were hearing about at Hartsfield-Jackson?
Only a few. Flying is much better on the East Coast today, Mark, than it was Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday because the ceilings are higher. The visibility is much, much better. Right now, here at ATL, 6-mile visibility. In the Northeast, although we've got now light rain falling at Newark and LaGuardia, always 2 trouble spots. They were before Christmas. Visibility is at 8 miles at Newark and 10 at LaGuardia. That's great for the pilots and great for getting out of there on time. Atlanta, just about 11 departures delayed here and just 1 cancellation. That was a Gulfport to Atlanta flight on Delta. Meanwhile, wait times, main security checkpoint, 10 to 20 minutes. That's not too shabby either, but give yourself at least 90 minutes on a domestic flight just to be on the safe side, especially if you don't have one of those fast access lines or frequent flyer with one of the airlines, or you don't get the TSA pre-check. We'll be out here throughout the morning, but again, the bottom line, Bonnie, is a better travel day overall, East and Midwest today versus earlier this week.
Sounds good, Mike. Thank you so much. You know, it is going to be soggy across the southeast, and it's still a very busy travel day, as Mike mentioned. Where are we seeing the thunderstorms and the rain right now? Well, we certainly saw it move through the Atlanta, Georgia area earlier today. A lot of ponding on the roadways, and people here at the Weather Channel reporting hydroplaning as well. But it looks a little bit better now that we're in the latter part of the morning than what we saw earlier on. So we open up the scope, though, you can see some heavy downpours working their way towards areas like Athens. So if you're driving in that direction, you will encounter rain. Keep in mind, the flood watch that includes Atlanta, Huntsville, all the way down to Louisiana, that will go straight into Monday for some areas, into tonight for others. The reason we're getting so much rain, look at this. Plenty of moisture just coming up from the Gulf of Mexico, right ahead of that recent storm system that we were talking about. So this is going to keep us in a wet period for today as well, tonight and into tomorrow. So for those of you that are traveling perhaps on Monday, you'll likely encounter some wet weather as well towards areas of the Carolinas, Virginia, and up towards Pennsylvania. But overall, I think it's looking better day by day as we get closer to the end of this year. Mark?
And we'll have more on that missing Asia Airlines flight. Weather looks like it could be a big part of this story with the disappearance of this flight. We're going to talk to airline operations experts and a close look at the conditions at the time.
Looks like the Garcia's got a new car.
What'd they get?
I don't know. It's pretty nice. Maybe he got a raise.
Good for him.
Good for her.
The expectation-shattering Buick Enclave.
During the Buick Holiday Event, make your best deal on an Enclave in stock the longest and get cash back for 20% of the MSRP. That's nearly $9,600 on this all-wheel drive 2015 Enclave. Hurry, this offer ends January 2nd.
Fact. Fast-acting Advil is designed with an ultra-thin coating and fast-absorbing Advil Ion Core technology, stopping headaches and other tough pain fast. Relief doesn't get any better than this. Advil.
New Move Free Ultra brings a revolution to joint health. It's the smallest joint health pill, now with a new triple action formula for joint, cartilage, and bone health. Move on to new Move Free Ultra.
Currently in our area, 70 degrees with foggy conditions. Today, partly cloudy skies. High 81. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, low 69. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, partly cloudy, high 80. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Tonight at 9. Get down now! Prospectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Tonight at 9 on the Weather Channel.
At the end of the day, my hands are beat up.
Especially during the winter times, hands are splitting, cracking, making it very difficult to do my job.
O'Keefe's Working Hands. Guaranteed relief for dry hands that crack and split.
Best stuff we've ever used.
It just works.
Learn more at workinghands.com.
You don't need to think about the energy that makes our lives possible. Because we do. We're ExxonMobil, and powering the world responsibly is our job. Because boiling an egg isn't as simple as just boiling an egg. Life takes energy. Energy lives here.
Free Ultra brings a revolution to joint health. It's the smallest joint health pill, now with a new triple action formula for joint, cartilage, and bone health. Move on to new Move Free Ultra.
This morning, officials are now saying airspace was possibly thick with dense storm clouds, strong winds, and lightning, and this could have contributed to the AirAsia plane going missing.
Yeah, according to the Indonesian Civil Aviation Authority, the pilot had asked to change course due to a line of heavy thunderstorms just 2 hours after leaving Indonesia. The flight 8501 was on its way for Singapore at the time.
When air traffic controllers lost contact with the plane over the Java Sea, 162 people were on board. Air search operations have halted for the night and will resume at 6 a.m. local time there tomorrow. Some ships are still in the area, continuing to look at what's happening.
Yeah, here's a look at the conditions at the time that this plane lost contact. As you can see, this flight was going right over and through the Java Sea on its way to Singapore. Those bright colors you're seeing are some very large storm tops. And as we put this into motion for you, we can see that those big thunderstorms were actually right near the flight path. So it's impossible to say immediately that the weather was a direct impact, but it certainly could not have helped whatever situation was going on at the time. And let's get even more details now. Joining us live now is Julian Bray. He's an aviation security and airline operations expert for the UK. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the fact that the pilots had actually requested a deviation from their flight because of thunderstorms. But at that altitude, are there other potential concerns, maybe ice or mechanical issues? What could have been going on at the time?
Well, they're all concerns, and so they had to investigate everything. But there is one theory going around that the wings might have iced up because it's at the right altitude for this to happen. And looking at the weather maps at the time, there were three major weather systems converging on this particular aircraft. As to the state of the aircraft, well, the inspectors are all over it at the moment. Apparently, all its servicing was up to date, and everything else was up to date. All the certifications were up to date, and it's a relatively young aircraft. It was actually manufactured in 2008.
Yeah, and I understand that this particular airline has never lost a plane before, so they must have the modern technology, such as de-icing, that should try to eliminate that concern, right?
Well, yes, you can de-ice while you're on the ground, but trying to de-ice an aircraft when it's flying is very, very difficult because ice forms on ice. They do have some de-icing kit on the aircraft, which is basically an element along the leading edges of the wings and things like that, but it cannot cope with a really solid piece of impacted ice.
All right, Julian Bray, aviation expert over in the UK. Thanks so much for your time. We're going to continue to focus in on this story, the weather that's happening, the thunderstorms, the icing potential. We're going to analyze it like only the Weather Channel can. So stay tuned throughout Weather Center Live for more details as they come. Bonnie, over to you.
Well, Mark, as you can imagine, this has been getting a lot of attention on social media as well, with people tweeting out their concern for those missing and the families that they're watching as well, including this tweet. This comes from the CEO of AirAsia himself. He's been actively tweeting throughout the process. Here's his most recent tweet. Our priority is looking after all of the next of kin for my staff and passengers. We'll do whatever we can to continue to pass information as it comes. And we've also taken a look at some other tweets that have been coming in on Twitter. And this one's from Mark. He says, my heart goes out to the families of the passengers and crew on board. Sammy adds, I hate waking up to bad news. My duets are with you. As Rule, trying to stay positive. Malaysians stand together with the AirAsia family. Stay strong. And it's interesting to note, Mark, there's also been a Facebook page set up as well where people are also posting their thoughts and prayers for the families that are keeping close watch on this situation.
Yeah, we'll monitor that. Certainly a developing situation, lots of weather potentially involved with this air disaster. And we are tracking our latest winter storm here stateside as well. It's Winter Storm Frona making its way through the northern Rockies right now. So we'll let you know what parts of the region could be in store for some very heavy snow, plus a lot of cold air on the way, going way down south.
Hey, guess what day it is?
Hump day!
Hump day! It's hump day!
Yeah.
Hey, Mike! Mike! Guess what day it is? Hey, Camel! Guess what day it is?
It's not even Wednesday.
Let it go, Phil. If you're a camel, you put up with this all the time. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
Okay.
Fact. When you take Advil, you get relief right at the site of pain, wherever it is. Advil stops pain right where it starts. Relief doesn't get any better than this. Advil.
When the game's on the line.
Okay, Patrick, let's go base, shark, blitz.
The NFL trusts Duracell Quantum to power their game day communication.
Abort, he's keeping it.
Duracell Quantum lasts up to 35% longer than the competition.
All right, listen up. Out on that field today, you will be ready for anything. And I want you to always remember, this is the greatest team you will ever be part of.
There's a team that makes a real difference in the world. Join the team that makes a difference.
Head to the Kia Holiday Sales Event and get great year-end deals, like 0% financing for up to 72 months on the Optima. But that's not the only thing getting people's attention. KBB.com says there's nothing on the road quite like the 2015 Kia Soul. Plus, get a first look at the all-new Sedona. So hurry into the Kia Holiday Sales Event today. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the Optima. Visit your local Kia retailer today.
This winter, you've got to watch the Weather Channel mornings.
It's going to have wide-ranging impacts.
Winter storms are too important to cover in just a few minutes.
It's going to be brutal for a lot of people.
Because it's not just about your forecast.
That's why those temperatures stay cold.
When everything's included, the kids get a vacation of their own. And so do we. But when we get together, it's the best time of all.
I can feel it again.
Right now, you can get up to 65% off. Call your travel agent or 1-800-BEACHES.
It brings an air of excitement, a refined presence, bustling with infectious energy, pushing you to the limits, awakening your imagination, and inspiring confidence. It's a symbol of your arrival. It's a brand new Cadillac. Discover the new spirit of Cadillac and the best offers of the season. Lease this 2015 Standard Collection SRX for around $359 a month. Hurry in, offer ends soon.
And even pay the return postage. Try NoNo risk-free today.
Tonight at 9.
Get down now!
Inspectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Tonight at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 81. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, low 69. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 80. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, a cold front plasters central Oklahoma. Cold temperatures and some snow. 3 to 6 inches of snow fell. Turned out to be a record for the date in Oklahoma City, where 3.5 inches piled up there.
Wow. Well, crews spent Saturday clearing snow and accidents from the highways. An overturned big rig and other spinouts clogged interstates in Oklahoma City. And we're tracking a new winter storm named Frona cutting through the northern Rockies.
Heavy snow falling from Idaho to Wyoming to Montana, especially in those higher elevations. Carl Parker in the lab tracking this newest named storm. Carl, over to you.
Hey, Mark, so a couple of things that we're watching right now. One is this low that has moved down into the northern Rockies, and along with that, we're getting mostly lighter snow now. It's going to be heavier. It's going to be more persistent, certainly, in the mountains, and we expect to see more than a foot of snow in parts of the Colorado Rockies and the Wasatch in particular. So here is the satellite picture. Now, this is an infrared satellite picture, and where you are seeing color there, where you're seeing blue and green and a little bit of yellow, that's where the satellite is picking up on the temperature of the cloud top. So you've got very cold cloud tops as those clouds punch up into the atmosphere, and it's an especially cold atmosphere there. And so that's how we're seeing where there's greater depth to the cloud, where the taller clouds are. But that's not the only thing that the infrared satellite sees. If we take you a little farther north, notice that right in here, there's a very large area of blue that's not really moving very much. That's because it is not cloud. Rather, it is cold ground that is being detected by this infrared satellite, and that is the Arctic air that is going to follow this first disturbance and drop down and make it exceptionally cold across the northern Rockies and the northern plains. Right now, snow coming down to the Cascades. We've still got some issues at pass level there. Traction tire requirements for Stevens Pass. Lighter snow in parts of Montana. Snow also around Pocatello and Jackson Hole. It's light snow there, and the snow is falling now in Salt Lake City. It will on and off for the better part of the day today. So about 3 to 5 in Salt Lake City and Denver, but higher amounts, as mentioned earlier, in the Wasatch and the Colorado Rockies. And that is just the first part of all this. Again, that cold air is really going to start to come down. There's the Arctic air right there. Also notice this elongated feature in the upper level flow. That is an upper low that's going to pivot around. And what we've got here is the vorticity as indicated by these white lines. And that's a proxy for where the next storm is. And that upper low is going to cycle down around through California and Nevada coming up here on Monday and Tuesday. And as that slowly comes through the southwest, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it will spread very heavy snow across the Four Corners and parts of the southwest, certainly the mountains around Vegas, but even Vegas itself, Mark, could get an inch or two of snow.
And that is always very impressive when that happens. Of course, you mentioned that cold air, Carl. We're looking at Dallas. You're in the 30s, in the mid-30s this morning, but you're going to warm up as the day goes on, as the rain has cleared out of the area, at least most of it. So you'll top out around 48, maybe 50 degrees today. But this is just the beginning. We're looking at a fairly substantial Arctic outbreak sliding not only through the west, where Carl was just showing us, but also into the plains. So let's get into the details here, starting out with that cold air outbreak coming into the plains. So we're going to look at a place like Dallas, close to 60 tomorrow, and then look what happens as we head towards the new year. Upper 30s for your highs. Again, if you're watching us right now in Dallas, you're in the mid 30s now. Imagine if that was your high temperature for the day. That's what it's going to feel like as that cold air starts spilling out of Canada. And gusty north winds will be cranking Lincoln and pushing that cold air south. Look at this wide expanse, right? 25 to 45 degrees below average anywhere in these blue colors. And for the last week of December or the early part of January, 30 to 45 degrees below average means very cold conditions for tomorrow, with 29 degrees off your average in Billings. And that's the kind of air that's going to be pushing towards the south. So you look at Denver on Tuesday, you'll be near 3 degrees, 40 below your average. Kansas City, you'll be near 20. Dodge City near 15. Those are between 20 and 30 degrees below your averages. And then into Wednesday, gets even further south. You look at a place like Amarillo, a high near 25. Obviously, Minneapolis and Chicago, you're still quite chilly as well. So we can look at a place like Minneapolis, where the average high this time of year is 24. We're going to have a hard time getting to that for the beginning of the week here. Teens, single digits for your high temperatures. Tuesday, a very cold day across the Midwest, and then eventually all the way through the plains. Bonnie, over to you.
The forecast for your town is just 6 seconds away. Then we'll gaze into the shimmering crystal ball at Times Square. We've got the forecast for New Year's Eve in New York City. Stay with us.
The holidays go high-tech with Holidays in Space at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Join us for an out-of-this-world take on the sights and sounds of the holiday season now through January 4th. Visit tourksc.com for details.
This is Pete. Pete is helping his aunt move, so he's not thinking about tires right now. But if he were, all he'd need to know is TireRack.com. He could view the complete selection of Continental tires at TireRack.com. Then he'd have the confidence to drive safely in any weather. But Pete's not thinking about tires. Pete's thinking it would have been nice if his aunt had mentioned the Mynah bird. TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install.
New Move Free Ultra brings a revolution to joint health. It's the smallest joint health pill, now with a new triple action formula for joint, cartilage, and bone health. Move on to new Move Free Ultra.
Vicks NyQuil Severe helps relieve your ugliest, nastiest, roughest, toughest cold symptoms. Vicks NyQuil Severe with maximum symptom-fighting ingredients.
I went to Ancestry.com, but I thought, I'm not going to make it very far. I knew my parents and my grandparents, and then it happened. I got a leaf. When I clicked on it, I could actually see my grandfather's draft card from World War I and his U.S. Census from 1910, and another member's tree that had my great-grandparents and their parents and everything. And it all started with my first leaf.
Who will you discover at Ancestry.com?
Musical chairs. Fun, right? Well, not when your travel rewards card makes it so hard to get a seat using your miles. That's their game. The flights you want are blacked out, or they ask for some ridiculous number of miles. Honestly, it's time to switch to the Venture card from Capital One. With Venture, use your miles on any airline, any flight, anytime, no blackout dates. And with every purchase, you'll earn unlimited double miles. From now on, no one's taking your seat away. What's in your wallet?
Rich, chewy caramel rolled up in smooth milk chocolate.
Let me know if this gets too hot.
Rolo, get your smooth on.
Before ISS, before Hubble, we built the most extraordinary machine. Stand nose to nose with Space Shuttle Atlantis, one of thousands of exciting things to explore at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Always exploring.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 81, winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, low 69. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 80. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Every Sunday, the Titans of weather bring the rain. Geek Out, Sundays at noon on the Weather Channel.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live. I'm Bonnie Schneider.
And I'm Mark Elliott. And this morning, we are keeping a close eye on Indonesia as the search for a missing plane continues. AirAsia Flight 8501 lost contact with Jakarta Air Traffic Control around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It was halfway between its origin of Surabaya, Indonesia, and its destination of Singapore.
Investigators say the pilot asked to avoid clouds by turning left and climbing to 34,000 feet. Meteorologists in the Weather Channel's Global Forecast Center say there was a 50,000-foot thunderstorm cluster right near the flight path over the Java Sea at the time of lost contact. Officials are now saying that the airspace was possibly thick with dense storm clouds, strong winds, and lightning. We will, of course, stay on top of this story and bring you any updates as we get them.
Meanwhile, millions of Americans are fighting our own weather to get back home from their holiday trips today. Particularly true in the southeast. So you've got heavy rain at times in the Atlanta and Nashville metros this morning, and Charleston, South Carolina as well. This sloppy, wet mess is knocking on your doorstep. And you know what? We've been following all of this rain for days now. And Bonnie, it is not just about the rain we're seeing. It's about where it's going to go next, because it's a very busy travel week. So tell us about this soggy south setup.
Well, it's not only is it going to be in the south, Mark, but this whole storm system is working its way further to the north. So cities that aren't really traditionally southern will be impacted. But first, since it's pretty early still and many of you are just heading out on a holiday trip, I want to let you know where the weather is dangerous right now, and that would be in Texas, where we have very heavy downpours. We saw severe weather there yesterday, and now we're seeing some very heavy rain sweeping on into Shreveport in Louisiana and the northern parishes there. But as we zoom into the Houston metro, you can see the rain is pretty steady at this hour. So maybe you want to just take it slow and possibly delay your travel if you're headed in that direction. Here's the rain working its way towards Memphis and Little Rock, all cities that are likely to see wet weather, and saw it yesterday. Moisture coming up from the Gulf of Mexico, stretching far and wide to the north. It's a steady flow of moisture that will continue through tomorrow. That is why we do have flood watches. They've extended further north than where they were yesterday. Atlanta now in the flood watch till tomorrow. So we have to watch out, because these downpours really could produce a lot of rain. Less than an inch, but remember, the ground could be saturated, especially further off towards Louisiana and Texas, where we've already seen quite a bit of rain. So tonight, if you're traveling in Tennessee, North Carolina, you will have to deal with wet roadways. Take it slow. And then tomorrow, this all heads to the north. So into Norfolk, Virginia, that's where we could see some problems. For those of you that are taking a flight today, we are anticipating some delays in the cities that you see here, New Orleans, areas into Washington, New York, just some. It could be worse, certainly, but we always want to give you the heads up on that. So looking ahead to Houston this morning, we certainly see the rain. We're also looking for it tonight as well. Some wind tomorrow, sunshine back in the forecast, so that's some good news. And also we'll take you to Charlotte, North Carolina, where the rain is actually going to get worse before it gets better. Look at this. Today we're looking at wet weather tonight as well, and into tomorrow. So early in the forecast we'll be looking for rain as well. Oh boy, a lot of wet weather, and Mike Seidel's been in the thick of the wet weather. He's live now at the world's busiest airport at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport here in Atlanta. Mike, the rain was really heavy this morning. How has that impacted flights?
Very little impact, because it's all about the ceiling and the visibility, and the visibility is still running 6 to 7 miles here at ATL. It was up to 10. Overnight it dropped down to 1 with a heavy rainfall. And our ceiling is, last check, 500 feet. That's come down, but still very few delays out of ATL right now. Departure delays Only 14 planes have been delayed so far this morning. Only the one cancellation, that Delta flight from Gulfport to Atlanta. And also, looking up into the Northeast, some other busy hubs. Reagan National delays, 15 departures, just 2 cancellations. Philadelphia, just 7 delays on departure flights, 2 cancellations. And LaGuardia and Newark, those airports and all the East Coast airports have major problems Monday, Tuesday, and Christmas Eve. How about LaGuardia? We have 18 departure flights delayed. That's only 4% of their schedule. So the takeaway here is it's a much better flight day than it was if you were flying the East Coast Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Take a look at the radar. We still have rain in the southeast. That's more of an impact on the roadways all the way back through the Gulf Coast. It's dry in New Orleans right now and rain back towards the Houston area. So there could be some delays at Intercontinental and also Hobby airports. As far as the forecast goes here, on and off showers this afternoon will keep hopefully the visibility up, and that will keep the air traffic moving out of the world's busiest airport. And then tomorrow, Tuesday, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, Monday through Thursday, East Coast, dry, but turning colder. So we won't have anything falling from the sky, but it will be getting much colder, especially as you get from D.C., Philadelphia into New York and Boston. Bonnie?
And Mike, I'm going to take it from here. That cold air is coming into play from the west. Millions of you trying to get home from your holiday trips are facing a different obstacle this morning. Not the rain in the south, but the cold and the winter weather from Winter Storm Frona. You're looking live at Denver. Snow from Frona knocking on your door. The main event really won't arrive there until Monday, but this is going to be a slow-moving storm system. Many of you will be dealing with Winter Storm Frona for days to come still. So let's give an update now on Winter Storm Frona and where this system is and where it's headed. We'll start off with the weather alerts from the National Weather Service offices. This deeper blue color, these are all winter storm warnings. Notice they do include the Salt Lake City area. We also have widespread winter weather advisories. Now, elevation is a big story here. You notice not only is our radar heavier in those higher elevations, but the elevations are also blocking some of the radar beams. So there is more snow out here than what we can see with our technology. But if you're traveling up I-15, you'll certainly run right into some of that snow. Southern Idaho and some of the higher elevations there, down I-15, portions of 84 still getting clipped by some of that snow as well. And we can also follow that snow down towards Salt Lake City. The east side getting, the elevations there east of town getting more snow now, but you notice that snow off to the north is moving towards you. So Salt Lake City, get ready for more of that snow. Here's why we're seeing that kind of storm system. We've got this big dip in the jet stream, and it's carving its way through the west. It's allowing for all that cold air to stream down towards the south, so we got the cold air in play. It also is invigorating the storm system, which is riding along that boundary with that cold air. So it fills in the cold, it fills in the snow, and we get a secondary system in Southern California that can also tap into this. So Winter Storm Frona has a couple of different spokes. Today it's Intermountain West snow, still some coastal rain for the Pacific Northwest. By the time we get into tonight, we start seeing that kind of bend down towards the south. The Colorado Rockies getting some snow. Central Utah will get in on some of that snowy activity. And by tomorrow, it's really the northern four corners. And Bonnie, from there, it could go all the way into the southern four corners, even Southern California in the higher elevations. Over to you.
Wow, Frona really impacting millions of people. Well, switching gears now, we're almost at New Year's Eve, and the Times Square Ball is ready for its annual drop in New York City. More than 1 million spectators are expected to jam-pack the streets to watch the ball drop on Wednesday. Now, crews were hard at work yesterday installing more than 250 newly designed Waterford crystal triangles. Very beautiful. The Times Square Alliance is honoring the humanitarian work of the International Rescue Committee with the new crystals. They join the other 2,400 crystals already in place. Just beautiful. The question, of course, is what is the weather going to be for your New Year's Eve forecast? Let's take a look. What we're expecting, I'd say, for Times Square is some cold temperatures. It's going to be in the 20s across a good portion of the region, definitely. Looking at the forecast, though, what we're expecting definitely is quite a bit of cloudy conditions, and then we'll see some improvements. We'll look for temperatures to climb into the 20s when that ball drops. All right, Mark, back to you.
Well, Bonnie, we're looking at that flight from Air Asia still. 162 people flying from Indonesia to Singapore have disappeared. 155 people were from Indonesia, 3 from South Korea, and 1 each from the UK, Malaysia, and Singapore gone without a trace. And officials say weather will be a huge factor in this investigation. We'll bring you those details next.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 81. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, low 69. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 80. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
You know, I tried one of those bargain paper towels, but I had to use so many sheets per spill, the roll just disappeared. I knew I should have bought Bounty. Bounty is 2 times more absorbent and strong when wet. Just look how much longer Bounty lasts versus one of those bargain brand towels.